and welcome everybody to the third episode of Marvel's What If SPOILERCAST. I don't know what to call these things. I suppose it's SPOILERCAST.
Sounds good to me.
It's the third time we're talking about this show. That's the thing. So I know everyone. This is a Spider-Man week, and everyone's like just chomping at the bit for anything Spider-Man. Admittedly, everything's leaking, so it's fair enough.
If it's not Daredevil, it's Spider-Man. So
it's true. But yeah, as always, I'm Mitch. You can follow me on Twitter, Mitch692, and of course, I'm joined by Sean.
Hey, you guys can join me on Instagram at MarvinTheMartian_12, and you might want to check it out maybe in the next couple of months because I will be. You never know. I could do some live videos from the Marvel Studios.
Nice.
But you gotta subscribe.
You gotta follow on Insta. So yeah, episode 3. I have no idea what this one was called.
Death of Avengers.
What if Fury had a bad week?
Yeah, instead of the good thing, the good week, it's the bad week.
Fury's
I love
big bad week.
Yeah.
This is more of what I've wanted. Because this is taken. It's not from a movie. Fury's big week has never been referenced in the movie, ever. Not once. It was coming from a tie-in comic, which they've never referenced before. And it's like, well, why? How can you say these are canon? Like, people are like, oh, they haven't referenced Shield, so it can't be canon. Like, well, but why are you thinking the comics are canon? And now, admittedly, this one's kind of like, yeah, I suppose it's canon. At least this one. This one's canon.
Oh, I mean, I think it opens the door up for everything else to be canon. I mean, this is, again, like you said, like a million times in these episodes. It's the multiverse, so it is canon. It's officially canon regardless.
It's true. Yeah. Apart from humans, we don't have that one. We admit that one from this multiverse into the next.
Yes.
I can go far away. So yeah, I'm still not even really over it. It's just like, wow, oh yeah, we're going to be pulling from all our movies. I'm like, well, you're not pulling from a movie here, are you? But obviously, it's got parts from the movies, but this is its own little side story.
Yeah.
Which this personally, I think, is not only my favorite, it's the best one, by a mile.
So far, yeah.
But absolutely, like episode 2 with T'Challa, great. This one by a mile.
Yeah. Because it goes pretty dark. It goes super dark. I mean, the minute you kill, it's like when the ways that, like, because we've talked about, like, what if Ant-Man did this, what if Ant-Man did that, like every one of those like those conversations practically came true in this one episode, and the stuff that he did to the like, I mean, I don't know about you, but I think the worst one is the Hulk.
Yeah, the Hulk that was horrendous. That was
rough.
I'm gonna enlarge your heart and then everything else on the inside. Did you catch? What's that? Sorry.
I was gonna say, did you catch the fact that they retconned the Incredible Hulk basically by having Mark Ruffalo instead of?
I was gonna say it looked like a combination of Ruffalo and Norton, but it sounded like Ruffalo. Obviously, I'm just like, hey, wait a minute. You got Ruff Norton, or Ruffton. But no, I like to think that this entire episode was inspired. Obviously, you had the Fury's Big Week tying and all that, but the fact that everyone was like, Ant-Man could beat Thanos by going up his ass.
Yeah, because
it's like every time he kills someone in this, it was inside someone.
Yeah,
apart from Thor, everything else he went inside people. I'm just like, have they taken that from? Is that just like a shut up? He's inside someone now.
Like for the longest time, I feel like Ant-Man was kind of a running joke, even in the movies, because it's like, oh, you got the shrinking guy, or like. But
yeah, so little guy, what can you do with that?
It's because, like, what, like, I mean, it's like it took all that, like, I want to say what ifs in the conversations, but like it shows like how dangerous Ant-Man could have been.
Yeah.
Like if he really didn't have the morals, the scruples to not do it. I mean, like the stuff that he did. I mean, like when he took out Stark, it's like, wow, that was. I mean, I felt like that was a little dark too, because it was just like he just keeled over.
Yeah. You just flew right through his neck, just like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you ever think it was the Hank Pym of it all, or did you think it was...
I'm admittedly I did sit there and I was like, I bet it's Ant-Man. I bet it's one of them. And it was before the whole fight with where you don't see who Natasha's fighting when she dies.
Yeah.
It was before that. Admittedly, it wasn't right. It was literally right before that. I was like, no, I bet it's Ant-Man. And then when Fury's like, oh, it's another Avenger, I'm like, yeah, it's going to be Ant-Man. Admittedly, that was for Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Which, that little cameo, I understand why Brie Larson didn't come back. It was literally 3 words. What would be the point?
I mean,
where's the fight? Like, cool. Cool, that's so done.
Did you have any problems with the episode? Because I had a couple of... And I'm saying, I'm talking as a fan.
When I first watched it, the whole killing Thor with an arrow, I was like, hang on, how does that work? But he wasn't, he was more human at that point. So it's like, fair enough. Like, fair.
Well, my problems kind of went into like how a couple of the characters were kind of portrayed. Like the Crossbones, Brock Rumlow was a little goofy for my taste. I mean, it wasn't wrong, but it just was a little goofy how they played him.
Yeah, I mean,
I get it. And like the other one was Coulson, but that one didn't bother me as much.
I would say
because it's
they turned Coulson up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that he has the same past where he does in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
I appreciated that. I was like, thank you. You acknowledged it.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that the Frank Grillo one was a little bit more off-putting than the Coulson one, but it was like, because I just was like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like he was always portrayed as a stone cold badass, and like they kind of.
I don't know. I'd say Rumlow is a little bit. He's not goofy as in look at me, I'm a goof. It's like, no, this guy he's try hard to the point of being goofy. That's my take from Rumlow.
Yeah, I that was the only problem. I mean, I personally had. It wasn't even a problem. It was just kind of off-putting, but like it did. It was like a quick one and done scene anyway, so it really didn't. Really
and at the end of the day, it's not the Rumlow we had. So it's like, you can do whatever.
But I think out of all, like the 2 characters that I loved the most, and it was the Hank Pym.
Oh, he was fantastic in this.
Yeah, because like you could kind of believe that even the 616 Hank Pym could just get to that point. Because like he is already grumpy. He's at like an 8 when he's like in the main Marvel universe, grumpy. And then you do what they did, like you take away hope like that, and then that guy could easily become that guy.
Yeah. I also really like the design of the yellow jacket suit. It's like, you actually kept in the shoulder fins. Like you actually gave it. Well done.
Yeah, it's like a combination of the Ant-Man,
the movie and the actual comics. Yeah,
it was really good. I love that design. And then also I love Fury. Fury was great, and I think Samuel L. Jackson's it was all spot on for me.
Oh
with that character. Especially with the whole he starts spitting out that line from the movies, and then when him and Coulson were sitting there, he's like, "I know, I wrote that." So, and it was just I like the Tom Hiddleston as usual, because it was just it was Tom Hiddleston doing Tom Hiddleston's Loki, so it wasn't like
I felt like if I had to point at anyone say that they were I'm going to say the worst, but I don't mean it as any. Because there's only one voice actor that I thought was really fucking bad, and sorry YouTube, don't slap me on that one. But Jamie Alexander was so bad to the point I didn't even know it was her.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again,
that's not how you talk as Sif. What are you doing?
Again, I think that it's just it's such a quick scene.
Because I didn't even notice Like, I didn't even notice the Warriors 3 was in there until like we did like me, Army, and Tristan did the commentary, and I'm like, oh, they're literally just standing there.
Yeah, Volstek's in the background. I mean, it's hard not to miss that guy. A red beard and huge. But
I missed it. It's literally like half a second on screen. It's like, oh, damn.
But yeah, I think I seen a video one time about like who the actual villain, because like they do mention, well, not mention, but Pierce is in the files, right? So I saw a video about like they think that he was the true villain of the episode, and it's like I don't know about that, because it's like if they should,
how can he be the villain when he's not? He's not even in it.
He's not even in it. Yeah, like I
don't even know how Hope was killed.
Right. Yeah, I felt like that was a little of a stretch, because like, but I also seen one where they said Loki was behind it all, and like,
see, this is the thing. This is the thing. I'm not sure if I got the idea somewhere. I'm not sure if it was the marketing or if like it was people reacting to the screeners, but it was implied, at least for me, that the third episode was what if Loki invaded.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I mean, completely threw me off. I was like, oh, cool, it's going to be Loki coming down instead of Thor, like a what if Thor 1 sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I think completely sidestepped what I was expecting.
Well, I think it was kind of I don't want to say misleading on the marketing part, because it really didn't. I don't think they played up the whole. Because like through the course of the episode, like Loki's nowhere near any of these things happening.
No,
so like it's like it would be a hard sell to kind of like link him to the deaths of all the characters, But like, I don't know, maybe that was the reason. I don't know.
To be honest, I think it's more like if you look at the marketing, the trailers always had like the different shots from those Phase 1 movies, and it gives the impression of that they're different episodes. They're not all in the same one. Yeah. It's just like fair play to them. Fair play. Though I do wonder how Natasha's gonna be part of this like Guardians of the Multiverse thing. Obviously, there's an infinite amount of Natashas out there at the minute. It's just like, where have you come from?
Well, I mean, to be fair, they didn't show her dying in the show, so like it was just implied.
True.
Maybe.
I was like, it was heavily implied with the phone call cuts off when she's like barely saying the words. Like, yeah, it's a bit implied.
Well, I always played up the fact that I mean, like I'm speaking this as a fan, not as a person that knows exactly what's going on. But like, I always saw her as like a diehard spy. So like, this is not out of the character of her, to kind of fake a death or,
True, but when you got someone that small going inside everyone to kill him, it's like, what do you? Can you fake?
Yeah, I think that was maybe there was a reason why they didn't show her dying, because like they didn't really show her die, and they showed everybody else getting killed. Like, I mean, they were there from the first scene to first frame to the last frame of the character being killed. So for each of the characters, except for Black Widow, they never really. It was never a definitive answer whether or not. It was always implied that she died, but like.
And that is the golden rule. Unless you see a body, they're not dead. That is the golden rule.
I mean, it is. Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't think of that. Like, the one time I didn't think of it. It's just like actually,
And I'm not saying yay or nay on whether or not.
No, but it's kind of like it's a good point. It's like I usually live and die by that rule, literally. And the one time I didn't even think of it. It's just like, oh yeah, actually no, she shouldn't be dead.
But again, you never know. It's just my assumption, I'm just pointing out.
All I can say for certain though is this is clearly not the Fury and Hawkeye we saw in the first episode, because that Hawkeye will be dead.
Dead, yeah, he's dead. So did the animation hold up for you like last time, or?
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
The animation for me has never been a problem. The only thing that I might have I might have clocked, and I'm not entirely sure if I clocked it because it was a bit weird or if it was not consistent, was the smoke. Like when the Rainbow Bridge is going off and like it focuses, like it's that down, like Dutch angle sort of a shot on the sand. Like the smoke is a bit, I don't know if it's weird or if it's not in line with everything. I'm not 100% sure. I have to go back and actually watch it again, but it's just, that's the only bit that
threw you off.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say yeah, but it didn't throw me off. I just wasn't sure what to. Not even what to make. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's just it caught my eye. Yeah, it caught my eye, and I was just like, huh. But I haven't focused on it. Like I literally I've seen it twice, and I haven't even like batted an eye thinking about it. So. I don't think I can say it's weird or anything. It's just I just remember the smoke looking maybe slightly out of place. But apart from that, I know the animation's great.
Yeah.
Even though like Hulk, like, I'm not over the Hulk. Like even the smoke for Hulk, it didn't look like, obviously because it's green, but like it didn't stand out like the Bifrost smoke did.
Yeah.
Or I should say dust, that smoke and dust and whatever have you. But I don't know. He just, I think because where the backgrounds and everything look more painted, and it's that like old like 80s and 90s cartoon where it's like all the backgrounds are painted, but the one bit you're going to animate is drawn and sticking out. So like you're watching a Scooby Doo, and you know exactly what they're going to open because it's clearly not the same as the background it's on. I think it was that sort of a thing, but it's just
the minute I was told that the animation was like this for the series, I was just kind of like, I mean, I was like 50-50 on like whether I liked it or not. But
the biggest hurdle for me with this style is the 3D, but it's I don't know, it doesn't come across as being 3D all the time.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you go like, yeah, that's 3D animation, but a lot of the time it looks 2D. I think that's more down to the art style and the shading and all that.
Was the exploding hawk good for 3D effects?
I mean, it looked great. Horrendous, but great. It's just like oh.
And can we just call it though, like this is pretty dark for Disney. So,
this is horrendous. This is like,
which I love. You know, I love because like you gotta. These aren't like if this was a movie, this wouldn't be rated R. It doesn't need to be rated R. I think it's a PG-13.
You can get away with this in PG-13 easily.
Yeah, there's amazing. You would be amazed what you can get away with in PG-13 when it comes to violence. Yeah. You know, like. I think the MPAA always looks for the nudity. That's when you start getting into the R section. Is like, you know, like they let. I mean, I can't remember what the movie was, but like
I think language, like because PG-13's got blood. Sometimes not a lot of gore, but like you can get blood in PG-13 now. I think language and nudity are the two things that go towards being R-rated at this point.
Yeah, and like I think they're doing. I mean, at least with this episode, it's like. It takes a lot of the whimsical stuff that they've had so far in the last 2 episodes and just kind of shifted it into like a mature like position for this episode. And like I like that for these types of shows. I think it works because it's like, you know, I don't know, it just works for me.
I'm saying that, you know, people be like, oh, well, there's no blood or anything. It's like, yeah, but this sort of a thing, like, you know, if you had blood, like, when he killed Stark, like, if you saw him, like, go in one side of his neck and out the other and, like, just blood splat and, like, entrails and the esophagus and all that, just splat the window, like, you'd know exactly who it was.
Yeah. I don't think
that's clearly Ant-Man.
Yeah, I think the way they did it, and, like, I don't know, I'm not a physics major, but like if the guy was like really small, he's probably hitting some type of artery inside anyways, and like it's a small hole, so it's like I don't know, it works for me. I like how they're dipping their toe in like a little bit more mature like themes here, you know, when it comes to like violence. They're not afraid to kind of like push the boundaries when it comes to like
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know. I really enjoyed. Like, I think I've watched it like 3 times since then. Like, you know, just kind of go back and just kind of reabsorb like a lot of that stuff because, and then I love the ending. The ending was great. You know, like it just kind of.
So I just can't believe Michael Douglas actually done it.
Yeah.
And like, did he chew it? Yeah, of course he chewed it. He's Michael
Of
Douglas,
course
for
he
God's
did.
sake.
Well, I mean, the character in the show is like he's crazy, you know. So
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like I think the chewing the scenery kind of matches up to like where the
Oh,
character is
100%,
in that show.
yeah.
So
I
and
just
like
loved it though.
I
Absolutely.
love the face animation too because it was just like you could tell this guy's like lost his mind, you know, like he has
Actually,
definitely.
that's you just reminded me that it's obviously it's not a major thing. It's a bit like the smoke, but the way they done his eyebrows were distracted slightly. Because it's like it's just
frilly,
these
like
thick strands, and I'm like, whoa, what are you doing?
oh, I always chalk that the look of just the aesthetic of his face as like he
It's
is
Michael Douglas.
stir crazy. And, well, that
Yeah, there's
and
that
he's
as well.
just
Yeah.
stir crazy, you know.
Yeah.
So he's probably not sitting in the mirror, kimping himself up, you know, so he could just kill Tony Stark. You know, I see the character as like he's living and breathing, you know, planning and you know he's not living in a house. He's probably he's living in an actual tin can on the side of the road, you know. So just to to unhatch his plan, you know.
I just the one thing this episode done was make me want to see the events leading up to it.
Yeah. I mean,
it's like, I want to see Hank and Janet be part of Shield, and I want to see why Hope joined Shield.
Yeah, and
because the Hank we know wouldn't let Hope join. Yeah. There's no way.
Well,
not a chance.
I think with that character is like she's gonna do what she wants to anyways, regardless of what Hank thought. You know, I wouldn't be.
Yeah, but that's because she didn't have Janet around. It's like if Janet stayed around, would it be a totally different story? I assume it did.
Yeah, 100%. Because I think because the whole reason the relationship was strained in the first place is because she thought that he let her die, you know, basically, you know, so like she's resentful to him for that. I would definitely love to see what the events leading up to this, because it'd be interesting to see if it was like planned, like, you know, or was it just like, hey, it was an accident, something happened in the field, you know, like either way you look at it, he's probably gonna have the same reaction, you know, like, cause like Hank Pym is like an uncoiled slinky, you know, even before all this stuff. So
I also kind of want to see like Hank in the main timeline be a bit more like I want to see Michael Douglas be a villain,
just be an asshole more, you know, like
really,
a little bit more.
I need full on like Yellow Jacket Hank Pym.
Yeah, I think that would be interesting. Not the wife beating parts, but like just
like none of that.
Like the guy that just makes the wrong decision, you know, and it just like that the Hank Pym minus the wife beating part, but like because he's an a-hole in the comics, you know, like he's an arrogant a-hole, you know, like I mean he's unfortunately one of the most complex, interesting characters Marvel has, and he's tainted by one thing. Yeah, he's tended to that.
One moment, and he wasn't even the only one who did it. No one talks about Reed Richards slapping Sue around the face a good few times.
Oh, it's because it's not. That. It's because it's, you know, like I mean, if you look at like it there was a whole storyline built around the fact that Hank Pym is like, you know,
it's true, but it's just kind of like, hang on a moment.
Yeah, like, he's not the only offender.
I kind of want like a comic run where Hank comes back and he's like, "You all did it to everyone else as well. Don't you give me this crap anymore. I'm tired of it."
Yeah, I mean, I think we got. I mean, maybe not to that effect, but like there was a villainous.
I was gonna say you had
the Hank Ultron.
I was say you had Pimtron, where he was he came back and he's like, "Look, you guys suck. You are all a bunch of assholes."
That's the Pim I want.
I would pay whatever it took to have Michael Douglas be Ultron for a movie. I would give.
Yeah.
I'd give like any child that could potentially come out my left nut. I would give to have Michael Douglas be Ultron.
I'll send that memo straight up the chain. There's a fan, man. We'll give him his left nut.
Only specifically the left one, right? He's mine.
Yeah.
He's mine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's going it that way.
It's never going to happen, and I am content with it never happening. It's just something I would like. Having the combination of Douglas and Spader doing the voice, like, oh.
But like, I think the problem. Yeah, I think the problem lies in the fact that it's already been established that he had nothing to do with Ultron. So it's like,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. We have a multiverse. We have a multiverse now.
That's the best part about this show. Is like anything's possible.
Yeah, there's nothing stopping a Ultron coming through the multiverse because he wants to wipe out the Avengers throughout everywhere.
You can just as easily do a what if. What if Tony Stark didn't do? What if Hank Pym made Ultron first?
Yeah.
You know, because like, I mean, the two characters are, almost the same. You know, with minus the grumpiness. I think Tony Stark's a little bit, but they both got the demons, the dark sides, of the character. Yeah. So it's like it wouldn't be too far left field to have the MCU Hank create something that could destroy the universe. So it's, it's a very thin line,
Very much so. But before we wrap it up, I just want to say the lack of Maria Hill in this episode.
Nobody cares. I mean,
I care.
I know, I'm joking. Like, yeah,
this is kind of like. It's like, hang on a minute. Like, she's her, like, Fury's right-hand guy. Like, Coulson's the left, like, or he's the eye, she's the hand. Like, where was Maria Hill?
Well, I think the only problem is like, they didn't do it in the movies. So it's like, it would be, like, I feel like she should have shown up at some point in this episode. That is definitely a missed opportunity because, like, she was around that time. So, like, her popping up would be kind of crazy.
I'll say, I don't think she was in the movies until Avengers, but it's kind of like, we know she was there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like she got, that was her first, day on the job. It was Avengers, like, she's been creeping up the ladder.
So, no, she wasn't in Captain Marvel. It's just like, why are we doing Robin Scherbatsky dirty like this? Like,
well, I can understand the Captain Marvel thing a little bit more because that is kind of like, I don't know if she would be around that time. Like,
that's fair.
Like,
that's fair. Yeah.
That's. But like, I feel like this episode kind of missed that opportunity to have, even if she popped up just to get killed or something like that. I don't know, like just something that like goes, hey, I was here too. Because
they acknowledge she exists because of the picture when the files that Widow's looking at. It's like, well, where is she?
Or maybe this is the universe that Maria Hill never existed. Maybe she.
Well, she's in the pictures in the Shield file. She's there. She's right there. She's working for Shield. And it's just kind of like, where's Maria Hill? So, it wasn't an issue. It was just more of a case. It was just a noticeable absence.
I feel like the MC movies have done her character a little bit wrong and dirty, anyways. So
100%. Yeah.
She's such a third tier character in the movies, and like it's kind of a shame because like it like that. I feel like that might have been more of an interesting pass off.
I would absolutely watch a Maria Hill series.
I mean, it's not out of the question. I mean, like, you never know.
That's just the standard Feige answer, though, isn't it? So I never say never. Never say never. It's like, no. Look, I know full well I'm never going to get Maria Hill series. Like, just don't.
You never know. Look, what is she? You never know. I mean, I'm media trained now, so you're not going to. I'm not slipping up anymore.
All right, that's going to be, because I like to keep these things half an hour. So thanks everyone for joining, and we will catch you all next week, hopefully, as long as everything works out.
We'll figure it out. We'll be here. I'll be here.
Yeah.
It might be on the road, but I'll be here.
we'll get it done. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining, and goodbye.
Bye bye.